Darkest of night with the moon shining bright. There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Hard to understand, what a hell of a man. This cat of the slum had a mind, wasn't dumb. But a weakness was shown, cause his hustle was wrong. His mind was his own, but the man lived alone. Ooh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. The game he plays for keys. Hustling times in ghetto streets, trying to get over. That's what they're trying to do, y'all. Taking all that he can take, gambling with the odds of fate, trying to get over, trying to get over, trying to get over, trying to get over. Ooh, Superfly. The aim of his role was to move a lot of blow. Ask him his dream, what does it mean? He wouldn't know. Can't be like the rest, it's the most he'll confess. But the time's running out and there's no happiness.
And welcome to UnBossed Nightly News, live on UnBossed Columbus. Today is Wednesday, March 1st. Coming up on the show tonight, we are talking about everything from how Mayor Andy Ginther's office just announced when he is finally going to give the State of the City address this year. And guess what? We'll have where it's going to take place at and what's not going down during this year's event. Oh, and on Monday, about 400 people gathered in the East Room of the White House to partake in the White House celebration of Black History Month. I got the recap for you of what went down. And the Akron City Council missed the voter-imposed deadline to select 9 residents to sit on their new Citizen Police Oversight Board by midnight Monday. I'll break down why they couldn't get their shit together coming up. And finally, tonight, Ohio State Representative Dontavious Jarrells gave us his first legislative update of the 135th General Assembly. I got the video footage with his updates coming up. It's time to roll, y'all, right here on UnBossed Nightly News, streaming live on UnBossed Columbus. Let's roll, y'all. Show that focuses on our issues, our concern, our stories, our voices, and our perspectives.
It's less than 20 people. So everybody want to scream on social media about how Black Lives Matter, but nobody want to do shit.
And
ever.
when you only report one side of the story, that's not reporting. Right. And that happens way too much in with our major media establishments in this town. It's like,
hey, what's up, everybody? So I know we wasn't here on yesterday. It was actually because we were out on an assignment that we are working on. I teased a little bit of it the day before yesterday on my social media pages, talking about what I was going to be embarking on and partaking in. And so we begun that project and that assignment yesterday, and it's going to take us away some days. We are going to try and make sure it doesn't take us away. And on the days that it does, what we are going to try and do is we are going to try and tape the show earlier in the day and then bring it to you live. So that way you won't miss a beat of what's going down, a beat of news, unlike yesterday when we had to not take a night off because we just couldn't bring you the show even after we had prepared for it. But first up tonight, what we want to talk about is how the city of Columbus, they just announced when the State of the City address is going to be taking place this month. Let's take you to it, because when they announced this, I thought it was a bit interesting, because I had been asking for the last few days, when was this going to happen? And then all of a sudden this morning, actually, as we were preparing for the show at around 11 o'clock, a press release came out, and I was like, oh, that's a bit interesting right there. Really interesting that we had been asking, and then all of a sudden now here it comes. So it's going to take place, the State of the City address this year is going to take place on Tuesday, March 21st at noon. So that's in 20 days from now, literally 3 weeks from now, on a Tuesday. Now, for all of you that don't know what a State of the City is, it's the local version of something that the president would give, but the president of the United States would give. It's the local version where the mayor of the city, or whoever your local elected official is in the executive office of the city, where they give an address and they update the public and the members of the city about what has taken place over that past year. So that's what the State of the City address is, and that's where Mayor Andy Ginther is going to be expected to update us on all of the things that he's done and that has taken place over this past year. But check this out. I can't make this up. This year's address is going to be fully virtual again. And it's only going to be available to watch on the city's Facebook and YouTube pages. And then they are saying afterwards, a transcript of the address is going to be shared on the city's website. So I do have two problems with this mainly. And I'll get into talking about what he talked about last year. Two of the problems I have with this is, number one, that the State of the City address is during the day. How many people do you know during their jobs that they have that can pull out their phone and watch the State of the City address at 12 noon? I'll wait. Exactly. Not that many at all. Not that many at all. And so with it being streamed, and obviously we'll pick up the stream and simulcast it and things like that here on UnBossed Columbus. But with it being during the middle of the workday and it being virtual, it's like, what the hell is going on? Why don't you want people in the audience? These things, up until COVID happened, took place in 2020, had always, not in 2020, he actually had one in person. So up until 2021 had always taken place in person. It just happened that way. That's the way it's been. Mayor Coleman would go around from different schools, from East High School to the King Lincoln District to the West Side. One of the places Andy frequented was West Stone High School, in giving his State of the City address. And so I'm a little deterred at that it's at noon, and typically these things take place at around 5 or 6 o'clock when people are getting off work, if they're going to take place in person. Also, secondly, is that it's fully virtual. fully virtual. Like, what? Why is it? Last year we saw it this whole pre-produced like type docu series video type deal, and I didn't like it at all. It didn't seem authentic, if you get what I'm saying. Black Columbus. And so one of the things he did mention in a press availability, which we don't get invited to those, so it was a little bit of a shock for us to get the release saying, oh yeah, the State of the City's happening on March 21st, which is a Tuesday at noon. So after his speech last year in the press availability, and they had the press availabilities over at the Linden Rec Center, which they're calling the Linden Community Center now. He told ABC6 reporter Luann Stoya that, and I quote, "The comeback from COVID is real in Columbus," unquote. The comeback from COVID is real in Columbus. So when I realized and remembered that he said that to Luann last year, I thought about it being being fully virtual this year. My mind like went to work. Like, if the comeback from COVID is real in Columbus, why the hell are we having a fully virtual State of the City address? The governor himself this year and last year alone reported to the chambers in the State House, the Senate chambers, and convened both houses of the State House, the State House, the House of Representatives, and the Senate together and addressed them. He did that last month, and really a month ago on February 1st, I do believe, is when he gave his address. And so now what's going through my mind and what I'm wondering is, what are you afraid of? It's an election year after all, right? At least I thought it was an election year. We know in his speech last year, he touted the new state legislation to allow people to carry guns without a concealed carry permit, and how it would make things more dangerous for Ohioans. He even threw a jab at Mike DeWine, the governor, saying that he was dead wrong for signing the bill. And while I may agree with the mayor on that when he said that last year, if we look at the way the State House was set up, the governor was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. If he vetoed the bill, there was a 2/3 majority of the Republicans to overturn it. Oh, but yeah, I don't want to have that conversation. He also touted in his speech last year that 91% of the homicides were a result of gun violence. And so, in my mind, if 91% of the result of homicides are due to gun violence in large part, what are you doing about it? So, I mean, this year we could expect him to tout all of the reform he's done. The buyout with the the 4 deputy chiefs. So I'm expecting him to tout that. I'm also expecting him to tout the DOJ recommendations. I'm expecting him to tout just different things around that. And he started to kind of give a little bit of his speech yesterday when talking about housing and things like that. But Andy, because I know all your people watch the news, this newscast. Andy, I hope you're listening, and I hope all your people are too. Andy, did you fucking forget it was an election year? Did you forget it? I think somehow you did, because you don't want to interact with the public when it is an election year. And the fact that you don't want to interact with us when you're supposed to be updating us and you want to do this virtually, like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Why? Andy, you need to come up with a reason, because while we didn't have time to get to it today, you best better believe during the commercial break, I'm sending an email asking why the State of the City is taking place virtually and not in person. Because we got to know. We really do got to know why this is taking place virtually and not in person. We're back right after this.
Hi, I am recording artist Quan Howe, and you're watching UnBossed, Columbus, Ohio. Stay tuned.
I believe that I haven't spoke to my father in almost a year, you know.
Let's go to Dayton, Ohio now, where the second mass shooting in the United States has occurred in just 13 hours.
Green, the year 2019 was the worst year I ever had in my life. At the end of May, my house was taken away by the tornadoes that hit Dayton, Ohio. The first day that I ended up getting out to hang out with my father, August 4th, 2019, mass shooter come walking down the side of the building and open fire, killing 9 in 32 seconds and injuring multiple people.
Newly released video shows panicked patrons screaming and taking cover in a nearby bomb.
Into purpose and power, I created my foundation, the Fudge Foundation. It stands for my father's name, Derek Fudge. It stands for flourishing under distress, giving encouragement. I've been helping survivors get the resources they need. We are the ones that are still here living.
I am so thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I'm thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I am super thankful for StreamYard.
What's up, everybody? This is Ron Lyles here.
Peace, Big Bless. I'm Chemistry Maestro.
My name is Gregory J. Watkins. I'm the director of the Worship and Praise Chorale, and you're watching UnBossed Columbus.
And so on Monday, the White House held their very own Black History celebration this year. And a Black History celebration they did throw. Let's get right to the story, because they had over 400 people inside the East Room of the White House to partake in this celebration. During the event, the president talked about his administration's accomplishments for us here in Black America, or so what he thinks his administration's accomplishments are. He talked about how he has tapped a historic number of Black women to be in the federal judiciary and on the federal benches. He also touted how he issued an executive order to overhaul policing practices and things like that, since he can't get the George Floyd policing bill passed in Congress because he's not leaning hard enough on them. And if you know what I'm talking about, we talked about that on Monday here on the show. He needs to lean harder on him, but he did send out an executive order. He also had this to say about being a white boy and understanding the Black community. Take a listen.
I know real power when I see it. The Divine Nine. We're honored to have presidents, all the presidents here tonight. And I want to thank them. And by the way, you know, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid. I know where the power is. I know where you think I'm joking. I learned a long time ago about the Divine Nine. That's why I spent so much time at Delaware State campaigning and organizing my campaign in Delaware. But
that's why he spent so much time in the state of Delaware organizing his campaign, because he understands the Divine Nine. He may be a white boy. I'm going to play that clip till the day I die. I may be a white boy, but I understand the Black community. This is already to give us a pass, or to give me a pass, because I understand it. Well, the president wasn't the only one to speak during the celebration. They had musical performances as well. But the vice president, Kamala Harris, also spoke, and her message was that Black history is American history, living history, breathing history, history that we create every day. Let's listen to a little bit of what she had to say during her speech.
Black history is American history. Living history, breathing history, history that we create every day, and history that we then must teach and celebrate. A history that helps us to understand how the past has influenced the present and potentially our future. And let us all be clear, we will not as a nation build a better future for America by trying to erase America's past.
So what she meant by that is she was giving a very forceful declaration after I don't know if all of you have been paying attention, but after the state of Florida and Ron DeSantis, they blocked a new events placement course on African American studies from being taught in high school. Ron DeSantis, the Florida Republican governor, is potentially going to be opponent for Biden Harris coming up in 2024. But he said the reason why he rejected the AP courses because he says the class pushed a political agenda rather than teaching students history. How the hell does a class on Black history push a political fucking agenda? The world will never know, Ron, because I would damn sure love to know about it. But this isn't what this story is about. I was glad that the vice president came out very, not just forcefully, but very loudly with the bully pulpit of the White House, as is often referred to, when speaking about this, because Ron DeSantis and those conservative-ass Republicans need to go somewhere. They think by trying to erase Black history that they can only teaching us about the goody-goody two-shoes of American history, that they could erase slavery. And they could erase all the wrong they done when they brought us over here and enslaved us and forced us to work for nothing. And then when we didn't do what they wanted us to do, they killed us. They thought they could erase all that, but the truth is they couldn't. They aren't. And hey, it just is what it is these days. It really is what it is. When we come forward after this, the Akron City Council has stalled an implementation of its Civilian Police Oversight Board. We're back right after this.
Hi, I am recording artist Quan Howe, and you're watching UnBossed, Columbus, Ohio. Stay tuned.
I believe that I haven't spoke to my father in almost a year, you know.
Let's go to Dayton, Ohio now, where the second mass shooting in the United States has occurred in just 13 hours.
Green. The year 2019 was the worst year I ever had in my life. At the end of May, my house was taken away by the tornadoes that hit Dayton, Ohio. The first day that I ended up getting out to hang out with my father, August 4th, 2019, mass shooter come walking down the side of the building and open fire, killing 9 in 32 seconds and injuring multiple people.
Newly released video shows panicked patrons screaming and taking cover in a nearby bomb.
Into purpose and power, I created my foundation, the Fudge Foundation. Stands for my father's name, Derek Fudge. It stands for flourishing under distress, giving encouragement. I've been helping survivors get the resources they need. We are the ones that are still here living.
I am so thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I'm thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard. I am super thankful for StreamYard.
What's up, everybody? This is Ron Lyles here.
Peace, big bless. I'm Chemistry Maestro.
My name is Gregory J. Watkins. I'm the director of the Worship and Praise Chorale, and you're watching UnBossed Columbus.
And welcome back. I don't know how many of you all have been paying attention to what's going on up in Akron right now, but it really and truly is going down in Akron. And it's a conversation that I don't think enough people are having right now, or even watching and paying attention to what's going on, because I haven't seen it covered in any of the mainstream media, let alone on any of the independent outlets. And it's something major we need to be really keeping an eye on. So the Akron City Council, if I could put this all into perspective, they missed a voter imposed deadline to select 9 residents to sit on the new Citizens Police Oversight Board by Monday at midnight. Yes, so that's literally almost 36 hours ago now. So after sometimes heated debates during the meeting on Monday night, the council meeting, which that meeting lasted more than 5 hours, the Akron City Council failed to approve 6 candidates nominated by council members, and 3 of which that were selected by the mayor. So how did Akron get to this point? Some of you all may be wondering. They got to this point actually pretty quickly compared to most cities, and even quicker than we got to ours. And we don't call ours an oversight board, but we call ours the civilian review board here in Columbus, and we have an inspector general. But how they got to this point is after Jalen Walker, he was fatally shot by 8 Akron police officers during a chase in late June, and a growing number of community members demanded and protested and was out there in those streets, as they should have been, demanding and calling for police reform and more accountability. But what they did is they kept in mind the ballot, the buck, and the box. The ballot, the buck, and the box is for how you really get everything done. And so because they kept those 3 things in mind, they knew that you really can't change and wield real change unless you hit people in their pocket, which is the buck, and unless you hit them at the ballot. And so what they did is a bunch of activists, they got together, they collected nearly 7,000 signatures to get a ballot initiative on the ballot in November. And that issue and that initiative was called Issue 10, which was for police reform, and it was on the November ballot. And so Issue 10, it called for the creation of a Citizens Police Oversight Board and a more authority for the city's police auditor. So, like I was just telling y'all here in Black Columbus, we have our inspector general, and their equivalent to the inspector general is going to be a police auditor. Same thing, different titles. Same thing with their Citizens Police Oversight Board. It's referred to, ours rather, is referred to as the Civilian Police Review Board. So over 62% of Akron's voters approved Issue 10. Phenomenal. And so the approval of the issue tasked City Council to do a couple different things. It tasked them to come together with the mayor of Akron, crafting new rules for a more robust civilian oversight board and a police auditor, and for all that to take place this year. And then check this out. It even went a step further. The new board must be instituted and in place by the end of July. And check this out. It goes even further. I love how they came up with this board and for getting it in place so quickly. But what I don't like about it is it left a little bit of a gray area and how we get to where we are today. And I'm going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. So with the rules that were written into the city's charter from that issue, all of this had to be in effect and take and like moving and effective by the end of June. So keep in mind 2 things. They had to follow the rules and everything had to be in place by the end of June, number 1. And number 2, the new board had to be seated and rolling, hearing cases and all of that by the end of July. So out of the so here's the makeup of everybody who was selected. Out of the people who were selected, there's 6 blacks and 3 whites. 5 of them were female and 4 of them were male. So there have been some problems and things, and I'm going to roll some of the clip from the meeting that actually took place here in just the second here. But there have been some problems during all of this, and some of the council members, they did raise concerns about this one board nominee who you are going to hear from. He was defending himself, this brother was, because the 4 white males on city council had the problem with him. The brother's name, who was a board nominee, is and forgive me, brother, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. And Mokai Okola. So what happened was a couple different things. The first thing is he listed the wrong ward on his application when he applied to be on the board. Then, so with him doing that, it forced the council to find another candidate. So after all that drama took place, Okola was able to stay on council's list. Though, because he was able to stay on it, they had to remove a police officer off the list. Boo-hoo-hoo. They moved an officer off the list. Cool, groovy. So over the last few weeks, council members, what can I say? They've been surfing through social media looking for stuff on this brother. And so because they've been looking for stuff so hard on this brother, they came across and became aware of some social media posts in which Okola shared a private conversation he had with a prosecutor. And then his opinion, he said in this conversation, he was expressing and showing evidence of sympathy for police officers by those who would be prosecuting them for misconduct or improper use of force when it came to this board. And so Okola, he did comment on the posts, which the 5 white members on council, all male, they cite opposition to his candidacy. They called and they said, quote, what Okola said in his comment was, quote, "This is how pigs get off." And he didn't lie at all. But here, I want you to hear from his own words, his defense, and why he's doing and fighting as hard as he is, because this brother deserves to be on the board. He's also an attorney. But take a listen to him.
Me to be able to see things objectively and clearly. I have the ability to do that, right? I'm an attorney. That's half the battle, right? And why folks can't see that, why folks don't see that, to me, I'm very confused. You know, one social media post does not define who I am as an individual. I am 27 years old, and I have gone through high school in this district. I have gone to college. I obtained a law degree. And it's not a lack of humility, but I am truly an exceptional applicant, right? I'd ask anyone, even my age, people in my group, to show a resume that is that much better than my own, right? That don't show the same qualifications that I have. You're asking young people to come into this city, to grow up and learn in this city, and to be able to give back to this city, and now you're not allowing the opportunity to do that. I can show you countless of mentors that I've had across this city, at the University of Akron, at Firestone High School, at the House of the Lord. All these individuals have reached out to me, so happy that I am on here, and they can tell you and express to you that yes, I might have different views than their own. I might have different views than you all, but I can be objective. This sort of passion I have, this love I have for the city is needed at this table. To not have a young black man at the seat at this table to have this conversation is truly a slap in the face to me and the rest of my community. What do you want us to do? You ask us to be a part of the solution, and we want to be a part of that solution, then you say no. You slam a door in our face and you say one social media post defines you. One social media post says that you're not allowed to be in this room anymore. But that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm asking you, what do you want? What am I supposed to do? What are people in my age range supposed to do? Yet we look at the institution of policing differently, because I was born in 1995, right? In the 8th grade, I saw Trayvon Martin get gunned down in the middle of the street, right? And since then, I have been seeing black men across this country, in this very city, be gunned down by police. And then you wonder why someone may have a different opinion of your own than policing, right? Jalen Walker was my age. We are the same exact age. It could have been me, right? And I can look at the situation objectively and tell you and give you a result that is objective and that's rooted in truth, right? I come here today to speak truth to power. This is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd.
a Mocha, I'm gonna have to end. And hey, I gave you almost 3 minutes.
Wow, that brother, he was on fire. And what Cole, he said a lot of stuff there, and it was so relevant. You know who he reminds me of, Black Columbus? He reminds me of our own very own Cal Strickland, who had a little bit of a fight getting on the our civilian police review board. It shouldn't be that we were born in 1995, as he said. I was born in 95. He was born in 95. Jalen Walker, all of this. And so, in our lifetime, in the span of the last 20 years, let's say the last 18 years, every year just about, and it has increasingly become more rapid and progressive, we saw more and more and more and more police killings of Black folks, Black males in particular, for no apparent reason in America. He told y'all back in 2009, Trayvon Martin. For him, he was in 8th, I was in 9th. But Trayvon Martin divided the country at that point. It divided Black America. Because George Zimmerman didn't need to kill Trayvon. George Zimmerman was just trying to take over and use his white privilege and his white power for more than what it is. Because he didn't want a Black person, and let alone a Black person, but a Black teen boy walking around in his community. Akron. To all my folk out there in Akron watching right now, because I know there's a lot of you watching at this moment. What I need you all to understand, and what I need you all to listen to me. I need you all to listen to me right now. All of you in Black Akron, and in progressive Akron too. You don't have to just be Black, but I'm talking to all my Black folks in Black Akron. And if I need to drive up there, I will, because I've been up in y'all's area 3 times within the last month. And I'm not afraid to get back up there with y'all. But Black Akron, what y'all need to do is y'all need to rally and get behind Brother Colon, because they don't want Black men. They don't want us speaking truth to power. They don't think, and you heard Okola say this, that they don't think you could separate and yet have an opinion, but yet be separate, and yet know how to do the job, and yet know how to separate his own bias from giving somebody a fair shake. He's not one of those 8 officers that killed Brother Jalen. He's not. He knows the difference between right and wrong. But yet, this goes back to that centuries-old argument. So, Black Akron, what I need each and every single one of you to do in the city is to get mad as hell and to rally behind Brother Okola, and to give it down, and to fight like hell until hell freezes over, then get on top of the ice and fight some more to get Brother Okola on the board. Because y'all see, they've been trying not to get him on the board because he's so damn outspoken. I told you, we got our own Brother Okola here in Black Columbus. In Columbus, rather. And in Black Columbus, too. And right now, he's sitting on the civilian review board. But it's not without us fighting for him. Brother Cal Strickland, that is. So I need y'all to fight like hell until hell freezes over, then fight on the ice for Brother Okola. And y'all heard the white city council member that I don't know who it was jokingly say, "Oh, you were only supposed to have 2 minutes, but I let you speak for damn near 3.5 minutes. Fuck me." So what? He deserved to speak. He needed y'all to hear from him about why he wanted to be on the board. But it wasn't just him speaking out and calling all of them on their bullshit. One of the white female city council members also called all of the other city council members on their bullshit too. Watch this.
My contribution to the debate on February 13th, I believe, didn't make it clear. I fully support the candidacy of Mr. Okolo for this board. Now, to be very succinct about this, this is an individual who is qualified by any available metric, including that he holds a view and a range of experiences and an identity within this community that makes his voice not only relevant, but deeply, deeply significant to the task at hand. And now, I feel I need to say, from the perspective of somebody who cares deeply about process, over and over and over again, I've made this clear, that I find it deeply cynical that we would introduce, simultaneous to a discussion about the original proposed resolution concerning the 6 council proposed members of this board, that we would introduce at the same time a second substitute. I just feel that this is the height of cynicism. I think I come at this in a very similar way to my colleagues who've already addressed this, but maybe there's a twist to it. And perhaps it can be partially addressed this way. I would suggest that if it is his desire that this individual who is so qualified and such a valuable contributing member of our community be given an opportunity to address the stated concerns before this body right now, if it is his desire to do so. I would also suggest that it's time that we really face what exactly it is we are thinking about and talking about as we deliberate about this. This is new. Change is scary. Change is often the only way forward. Now, this is an historic moment. We've never been here before, and I strongly suggest that we take a moment here and offer Mr. Okolo, whose life and whose
So I want to stop it right there. Yes, that Brother Okolo got to speak because of a white female city council member speaking up for him. Thank you to her. Thank you to the sister, the councilwoman. But what I want to tell all of you out there, not in Black Akron, not in Black America, not in Black Columbus, what I want to tell all of white America is, if like she said, change is never easy, but it's got to happen. And it's not only got to happen and going to happen, but it's always going to be possible. But we need people like you to call this shit out. To call this shit out. You heard her call it out and say she found it implicable and implorable that they would bring up and have a second candidate when they already had one in mind. At the same time, they were discussing Brother Okolo. So white America, you need to speak up. You really, really do. You really do. Because when you do, your peers, will they follow right away? Hell no, they won't follow right away. But what they will do is it's going to take them time, but they'll be right there. They'll be right there. Like I always say,
Hell to the no, no. Hell no.
Hell no. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible, and you need to start speaking up too. You really do. So as I bring this story to a close, a couple more points I need to make here is that I told you at the top of the story that Akron, the city council, they completely missed the deadline to have voted on the board members and things like that, which was Monday at midnight. So because they missed the deadline, their city charter doesn't really address what happens now, because their city council missed a deadline to review charter members. So they're sort of in this gray area. And right now in Black Akron, I'm standing with you in solidarity. I'm a phone call away. I know a lot of you up there in Black Akron. Hit my line if y'all need me, because here in Black Columbus, we stand in solidarity with you. I know they are threatening a ton of political pressure right now. They are also talking about there are some protests. When the protests happen, we'll try and, if there's Facebook Lives going on, share them and things like that about them, and some other civil disobedience things going on. But as I just told you, you got to hit them in the ballot in the box. And so they already hit them at the ballot. So now they're going back to hit them at the box, because now they're talking about suing the city because they missed it. And let's not get this wrong. They only missed it over this one black brother because he's so outspoken. And he's for Black Akron. And they didn't like that. They didn't. So that's why they missed the deadline at the end of the day. That's the main reason why they missed the deadline. But I had to take a break, y'all. We're back right after this.
Hi, I am recording artist Quan Howe, and you're watching UnBossed, Columbus, Ohio. Stay tuned.
I believe that I haven't spoke to my father in almost a year, you know.
Let's go to Dayton, Ohio now, where the second mass shooting in the United States has occurred in just 13 hours.
Green. The year 2019 was the worst year I ever had in my life. At the end of May, my house was taken away by the tornadoes that hit Dayton, Ohio. The first day that I ended up getting out to hang out with my father, August 4th, 2019, mass shooter come walking down the side of the building and open fire, killing 9 in 32 seconds and injuring multiple people.
Newly released video shows panicked patrons screaming and taking cover in a nearby bomb.
Into purpose and power, I created my foundation, the Fudge Foundation. Stands for my father's name, Derek Fudge. It stands for flourishing under distress, giving encouragement. I've been helping survivors get the resources they need. We are the ones that are still here living.
I am so thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I'm thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard. I am super thankful for StreamYard.
What's up, everybody? This is Ron Lyles here.
Peace, big bless. I'm Chemistry Maestro.
My name is Gregory J. Watkins. I'm the director of the Worship and Praise Chorale, and you're watching UnBossed Columbus.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome back. State Rep Dontavious Jarrells today did something big. Well, it's not really big, but it's something that he's one of the very few state reps here in Ohio that does it, in fact, and that is he issues and releases these video updates. And so he gave us his first legislative update of the 135th General Assembly. In his update, we're about to air it here in just a few seconds. He talks about everything from addressing his constituents' needs in Ohio State House District 1, to deliberating in committee meetings, to reviewing the governor's, as it was introduced by the governor, budget. And the budget is coming closely to being passed too, but he talks about all that. And so y'all know, when I seen him release that on social media and things like that, I had to hit him up. I sent him a text and was like, hey, bro, Dontavious, I need I'm sorry, State Rep Jarrells, to all of y'all, I need you to send me this video, the video, so we could air it here on Nightly. So not just your constituents, but all the other members of Black Columbus and the rest of our viewers could see it as well. And as he always does, he obliged. So here it goes.
Hi, this is State Representative and Assistant Minority Leader Dontavious Jarrells. It's been a busy and exciting time for House District 1. That's why I'm honored to share with you my first legislative update as we work to create a state that works and represents all Ohioans. Let's talk about committees. Legislative committees meet throughout the General Assembly to review and make recommendations to the proposed legislation before any action is taken on the House floor. This General Assembly, I'm honored to serve on the following committees: Commerce and Labor, Constitutional Resolutions, Finance Committee, Finance Subcommittee on Higher Education, where I serve as ranking member, Insurance, and Rules and Reference. With legislation already moving in many of these committees, I'm excited to work with my colleagues as we review, deliberate, debate, and pass sound legislation that serves all Ohioans. During the State of the State address, Governor DeWine proposed several investments, including more money for K-12 education and college tuition, a state low-income housing tax credit, and a single-family housing tax credit, and the creation of a cabinet-level agency called the Department of Children and Youth. The administration has proposed a budget spend of $103.3 billion in fiscal year 24, followed by $99.8 billion in the next. As we zero in on the state's discretionary spending, Governor DeWine's proposed budget appropriates $28.1 billion in the first year and $29.4 billion in the second. As a member of the House Finance Committee, I'm proud to say that our review of the proposed budget is already underway, and we will continue for the next few months. We expect the first round of amendments to be due in early April and House passage sometime this spring. If you'd like to learn more about the budget process, please visit the Legislative Service Commission's budget page listed below. In the last General Assembly, I'm proud to have passed several bills into law, including replacing derogatory terms related to people with disabilities, designating January 11th as Human Trafficking Awareness Day, and appropriating $150 million in ARPA funding for lead prevention and mitigation, just to name a few. This General Assembly, we continue our work addressing the challenges so many of our Ohioans face daily. One such issue is Ohio's minimum wage. Today, too many working Ohioans are working 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet. This is partly because the state's minimum wage is simply too low. That's why I'm proud to reintroduce legislation with Representative Ismail Muhammad, which would gradually increase the minimum wage in Ohio to $15. In 2020, a family of 3 needs at least $21,960 to afford the basics. A full-time worker who is paid the minimum wage falls roughly $3,656 short of that level. The reality of having too little to cover the basics means that the family forgoes medical treatment, children don't have enough to eat, and insecure housing that can end up in eviction that uproots the family and leaves them with nowhere to turn. Increasing the minimum wage to at least $15 an hour would benefit over 1.56 million working Ohioans, or 29% of the workforce. And of that, it would increase the earnings of 38.1% of Black and 23% of white workers. Simply put, this legislation would benefit millions of Ohioans, give Black and brown workers a little bit more breathing room, and inject $6.1 billion a year into our state's economy. To review the complete list of bills I've sponsored and co-sponsored, please visit my member site at ohiohouse.gov. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Together, we're building a better Ohio we all deserve.
So we are working to get Representative Jarrells on the show to have a sit-down, longer chat with him about what's going on. What's it like being the state's youngest assistant minority leader? And a wide variety of everything that he has done for Black Columbus so far, because his district did flip with this redistricting, and as you know, that's coming up again for discussion because of all the lawsuits and things that took place last year. And so, whereby he was the state rep for Ohio House 25. He flipped to Ohio House 1, which is primarily downtown Columbus, some of the west side and the south side. So a bit interesting. And you heard him talk about working with Rep Ishmael Muhammad, who is now the state rep for Ohio House 25. So we're going to talk with all of them, including State Rep Ishmael Muhammad, State Rep Humphreys as well, State Senator Michelle Reynolds. So we got all of them. We're working to get the schedule times with their schedule and our schedules to get them on the show. So you all can hold them accountable and hear what they have to say about what they have been working on. Well, Black Columbus, we got to take one more break, and we will see you on the other side of that.
Hi, I am recording artist Quan Howe, and you're watching UnBossed Columbus, Ohio. Stay tuned.
I believe that I haven't spoke to my father in almost a year, you know.
Let's go to Dayton, Ohio now, where the second mass shooting in the United States has occurred in just 13 hours.
Green. The year 2019 was the worst year I ever had in my life. At the end of May, my house was taken away by the tornadoes that hit Dayton, Ohio. The first day that I ended up getting out to hang out with my father, August 4th, 2019, mass shooter come walking down the side of the building and open fire, killing 9 in 32 seconds and injuring multiple people.
Newly released video shows panicked patrons screaming and taking cover in a nearby bomb.
Into purpose and power, I created my foundation, the Fudge Foundation. It stands for my father's name, Derek Fudge. It stands for flourishing under distress, giving encouragement. I've been helping survivors get the resources they need. We are the ones that are still here living.
I am so thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I'm thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard. I am super thankful for StreamYard.
What's up, everybody? This is Ron Lyles here.
Peace, big bless. I'm Chemistry Maestro.
My name is Gregory J. Watkins. I'm the director of the Worship and Praise Chorale, and you're watching UnBossed Columbus.
Before we get out of here tonight, I want to tell you that we need you all to become members of the UnBossed fan club, because all of this is only possible with you becoming members. And so I need you all to head on over to the UnBossed Columbus website and to subscribe and join today to become a member at www.unbossed.live, or you could become a member on via any of the apps, Venmo, that's venmo.com/unbossed fan club, Cash App, that's cash.app/$unbossed fan club, or PayPal, paypal.me/unbossed fan club. We are simply asking that we get 1,000 of you to join the fan club on an annual basis for $50 a year. That's all. That's $4.13 a month, 13 cents a day, cheaper than a cup of coffee a month. We need your help here in Black Media. If you like the content and the stories that we are covering, help us out. We really do need your help. And it's not that I'm begging here, but I'm telling you that the only way that we can thrive is if you support us. Back in the day, the only reason why Black-owned media and Black media was able to succeed, like the Chicago Defender and the Pittsburgh Courier, the Atlanta Daily World, go on and on. Here in Columbus, the Call-In Post, the Columbus Post, really with the Columbus Call-In Post and the Columbus Post is because all of you supported it with buying the newspaper. And not only buying the newspaper, but also putting your ad and advertising in the newspaper as well. So if you're a business owner, hit us up. And so we could talk with you about how to sponsor a segment we do here on the show, or about advertising and getting your business ad to air during our commercial breaks. Black Columbus, I'm serious. We need your help in order to keep this thing going. It's not easy paying for the lights, the cameras, the travel costs, all of that. So once again, you can join the UnBossed fan club by heading on over to Cash App. That's cash.app/$UnBossed fan club. Venmo at venmo.com/UnBossed fan club. PayPal at paypal.me/UnBossed fan club, or hitting up the UnBossed Columbus website at www.unbossed.live. Well, everybody, that is my time for today. As always, y'all know what I like to say and how I typically end the show. Remember, keep it real because your conscience depends on it. Peace. I'm out.